In the cryptocurrency news world, I don't know if you've ever heard of Cathie Wood before. I hadn't until I heard about this news article. Apparently she is a big wig. She manages an investment group that has over 50 billion in assets, which is, that's a decent penny. She expects Bitcoin within the next 5 or so years to be around $500,000.
And she is
500,000.
500,000. She is the CEO of ARK Investment Management. So this is her job. She
invests a lot and manages a lot.
Portfolio. So
quite interesting.
You get this kind of news, and this is what can bolster and help cryptocurrency moving forward. Because as we've seen, another interesting thing that was in the news, there was a fake report that came out that Walmart was accepting Litecoin,
yes.
I believe it was.
Yeah,
right?
It was like a hacker group or something that did it, and Walmart came out and was like,
Walmart,
oh, yeah.
and boom, it spiked. And then it found out, that's actually not true. Walmart, we're not accepting that as payment, and boom, came back down. But the takeaway from that, right, is that it's interesting to see that, yes, things are affected by the news in cryptocurrency, right?
And especially as big investors and big companies get into it more and more and accept it, gets a lot more traction and gets the price of these cryptocurrencies going sky high.
The more and more we get this kind of uptake by big investment management groups like this that she heads and the CEO of, and other groups, it's...
And one of the reasons she thinks that it will continue to grow like this is because she expects a lot of different investors and companies to want to diversify more, as the standard currency, United States dollars and whatnot, it's kind of uncertain. With inflation and everything going on, you don't know exactly what's going to be happening, and obviously you don't know what's going to happen with anything, but that's the whole point of trying to predict what's going to happen and prepare for the future. And that's why I think a good reference is what she's talking about. So she's obviously had a lot of experience with it, and if she thinks it's going to be going there, it's something to at least keep in mind if you have an investment in Bitcoin.
And again, the thing to keep in mind here too is that we really still are on the cusp of a big movement here. I mean, just like we talked about in another video, I think this is like the beginning of the internet, where that really took off. And if you adopted it, excuse me, if you're an early adopter, then and so that's kind of where we're at. So
right now's the time to be looking into it and getting excited about it. There's a reason that you start hearing about it more and more. I hadn't heard much about cryptocurrency until the last year. I remember hearing about it probably about 6-7 years ago from a business professor that I was attending at a community college, and he talked about this cryptocurrency thing. He's like, that sounds pretty interesting. You might want to look into it.
Yeah, it's
and I really, really wish I would have listened to him. That would have been awesome. But I didn't, and here we are.
And hindsight, of course, is always 20/20, right? Is that how you say that? But yeah.
Just an interesting idea. I feel like nowadays, that was like the first thing I'd heard about it. And then now, within the past year, I hear it all the time. I hear about cryptocurrency everywhere. And possibly because you talk to me about it all the time. But I do hear it from a lot of different people, and it's something that is growing quite quickly like the internet did back in the day. So something to continue to get excited about and look into and research for yourself.
In general, on news that you see, there's a lot of what's called FUD out there as well, fear, uncertainty, and doubt. And so you do have to take what you read with a grain of salt. There's a lot of different competing interests. There are reasons why certain FUD is put out there, because there's manipulation in the market as well. One thing that can happen, you have what are called whales in the cryptocurrency area. The same thing in stocks and whatnot, but these are big, huge holders in the market. They hold large amounts of cryptocurrency, again, or investors in standard stocks, whatever, but they can liquidate a large amount of their shares, knowing that creates so much pressure on the market that everyone else starts to panic, and then it kind of creates this downward movement, and then they can pick that back up again at the discounted price. So they'll sell a lot, wait for everyone to sell off their stuff, and then they will buy back in at the lower amount. And so you kind of, as you recognize that that's part of the market, it's just what it is, then you can start to recognize these trends and not follow the crowd as
and
far
really
as
hold on to it.
Yeah, holding on to it, and also not FOMOing into it when there's a lot of greed going up, and then also not selling out of it when everything's collapsing. If you have a position you should can hold through most often and come out on top.
Important to keep your cool with cryptocurrency and with investing in general.
A lot of emotions in this.
You have to keep your emotions in check, that's for sure. Are you emotional? Get help.
Get Crypto could help you
Unless
learn to manage
you're-
your
no.
emotions.
Oh no! If you have emotions, don't do it.
Yeah, well,
Manage those emotions.
manage it, stay out of
Manage.
crypto, or get into it and face your fears.